Well, let's talk about that redistricting. You are pushing hard to redraw Maryland's congressional map to further benefit Democrats. And what that means is eliminating the only Republican-held seat that exists right now. The map as it stands is already really gerrymandered, done before you got there. How is it good for democracy to pursue a map that makes your state even less representative?
Well, actually, the map that the Maryland House passed would actually make 6 of the 8 congressional districts more competitive than less. And frankly, one of the most gerrymandered seats inside of the state of Maryland is actually the Republican seat. It's Andy Harris's seat, who voted against national redistricting reform. But what the Maryland delegate and Maryland House did is they actually said, let's debate it, let's discuss it, and then let's take a vote. This idea that the Maryland Senate won't even take a vote on this it does not make any sense to me and does not make sense to many Marylanders. And in fact, just last week, we saw how the Maryland Senate found time to debate and vote who was going to win the Super Bowl, but could not find time to debate the future of democracy.
And I just want to make sure that people who aren't totally familiar with the makeup of the legislature in Maryland understand that you're talking about the Democratic leaders, the Democratic leader in particular, in your home state. So this is, an internal party divide on this. And I know you mentioned that you think that some of the congressional districts will be more competitive, but ultimately you're trying to push out the only Republican who is serving there.
We saw how the reason that the House passed an emergency legislation is because this is an emergency. This is an emergency where even with the legislation, it still goes back to the people. The people can still take a chance to have a vote later on, but we understand what is at stake right now. And I know that there are more Maryland senators that do believe that this thing would go. And so that's why all we're asking for is let it have a debate, make adjustments if you see fit, but then have a vote. But right now, trying to pressure down or trying to suppress the vote inside of the Maryland Senate and not even allowing them to have their voices heard, that is something that I do not understand and I do not think should be tolerated in the free state.